friends, welcome back to FrallaKnits. My name is Stephanie, my pronouns are she, her, and I am a cross-stitcher, knitter, quilter, sometimes spinner, living in Atlantic Canada. You've come to this is episode 7, lucky number 7, possibly. It is about a week later than I was hoping. Last week I got quite sick and I still have kind of the remnants of my cough. So I've got tea, I've got water. Hopefully we will make it through this video. Because it's been extra long, I have extra stuff to show you, including a ginormous finish that I don't think anyone was expecting. So that's exciting. So yeah, sorry. I'm going to get into it as quickly as I can because I don't know how long my voice is going to hold out. So this week I actually have cross stitch. I have knitting, which I haven't had for a while. So knitting, yay. And I have quilting. I also have a bunch of haul and some plans, or as I should probably call them, dreams, because I don't seem very good at sticking to them. So I've only had 3 whips that I've worked on cross-stitch wise in the last few weeks. So we'll start with Trans Pride Tapestry. I stitch this on the 17th of every month. It is in honor for my eldest, who is my trans son. And I'm stitching this one for him. And I've told you the saga of the diamond that used to be in this that I pulled out, and now I'm replacing it with a toile, which I am much happier with. So yeah, one day's work, you don't get a ton done, but I'm probably going to, I should say it's October 30th now. So probably for November, possibly December, I'll just continue on with the toile, and then maybe in the new year I'll start outlining the rest of this project. So that's Trans Pride Tapestry by D's 20 Stitches, artwork by Uncanny Kari. That's number 1. Number 2 whip that I worked on, it was 24 hours of cross stitch last weekend, I think, maybe. So I worked on Autumn at Hawk Run Hollow for that. I really, I have most of the top done. I don't really know why I stopped stitching the top when I did put it down last year, the year before, I can't remember. And I had part of this first block stitch. So my goal for 24 hours was to finish this block and maybe move on to this one as a stretch goal. I did finish this block minus one of the colors of the pumpkins. I'll show you. Yeah, probably just easier to show you. So here is where I ended up getting to. Like I said, I don't know why I stopped this top bit, but I think I probably just wanted to get onto the blocks. So there's where I got to. I haven't done the back stitch. This is in the called for NPIs, and you can see what look like white pumpkins. They're just missing their floss. It's a different shade of orange, and the floss list for this is huge, and NPIs, which are not inexpensive. So a couple of years ago, I had my partner fill my advent calendar with 24 NPIs, which I thought would be the kind of first 24 that I would run into. Apparently I missed one. So I've made him a new list, which I should really get to him, so that he can get those ready for this year's advent calendar. So I think so that will give me 48 different colors, and I think there's a handful more that I'll need eventually, but eventually. It is a humongous project. I've been working on it for a couple years. I am going to stitch the entire thing. I know a lot of people do some editing. The only change I'm going to make is I'm going to swap the Halloween blocks with the Thanksgiving blocks, because like I said, I'm from Atlantic Canada, and in Canada we've already had our Thanksgiving, and Halloween is tomorrow. So in Canada, Thanksgiving comes before Halloween, whereas in the States it's reversed. So I wanted to, you know, in 20 years when I get down to this part, I wanted to put the Thanksgiving before Halloween. That's it. But I do intend to stitch all 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 blocks plus, you know, eventually finish this top. Like I said, in 20 years. Okay, so those were the only 2 whips that I worked on. I do have 2 new starts. The first one I started on Friday the 13th with Elizabeth from Savory Stitching. It is the All Hallows Eve sampler. And I think I talked about my saga of fabric choice and floss choice on my last video, I believe. And it ended up that I didn't go with any of the fabrics that I chose that I had bought for this. And also my hand-dyed by Rolanda floss didn't arrive in time. I really didn't think it was going to. So I ended up using, let's see. I ended up using silk that I had in my stash, and it is Classic Colorworks Belle Soie in the color Noir. So it's variegated gray. It's, yeah, not black, but I like the variegation in it. It's wonderful to stitch with. And the fabric that I'm using, I ended up picking up from my local needleworks shop, is Wise Wolf. It is, I'll show it to you. It's from Ship's Manor, I believe. It's a 28 count Jobelin, and I don't think that I have ever stitched on Jobelin before, or if I have, I don't remember, but oh my goodness, I love it. I love stitching on this. The combination of the silks and the Jobelin, I don't know if it's just the weave of it or what, but I love it. I have found myself just kind of being drawn to it throughout, you know, the last half of the month. It's so easy to stitch on. So here's where I got to so far. The orange is an étoile, so it has some sparkle, and yeah, like I said, keep on getting drawn to it. Love the stitching experience, love the pattern. You can see that, yeah, it's done mostly in black with some orange. So I have the orange going up here. I don't know if I'm going to maybe swap to like some sort of, I have the complete étoile set, so I might swap to a yellow possibly for the moon, we'll see. And, you know, maybe some purple or green stripes for the witches. But for now, loving this. So that's the All Hallows Eve sampler. It's by Joan Elliott. And yeah, I mean, I say I'm loving it. It's Halloween tomorrow. I might stitch on it tomorrow. And then we're into fall, Christmas, and whatnot. Like I said, I do stitch on my Trans Pride tapestry on the 17th of every month. I do plan to continue stitching on Halloween on the 13th and 31st, so I'll probably be bringing out that sampler then. All right, the next start was completely not planned. I was watching a new floss tuber. Her name is Michael, and she's Sweet Woodruff is her channel name. And she does cross stitching, she does quilting. I thoroughly enjoyed her first video. You should definitely go check her out. So she was going over haul at the end, and she kind of just, I was stitching away, so I wasn't really watching, paying attention, you know, how you're stitching, and you look up every now and then, oh yeah, that's cute. But she said, she read some words from a Beth Twist pattern, and it just caught my ear. And I guess I'll show you, the pattern is, I think it's called 3 Simple Proverbs by Beth Twist. I'll insert a picture here. It came with 3 patterns, but the one that Michael read from was this. It says, a gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. And I'm not religious. I haven't read the Bible. This is a quote from Proverbs that I don't remember ever hearing before, but oh my goodness, it hit me and rang so true. A gentle answer turns away wrath. That is, I have definitely learned the value of, of that in especially parenting my teenager. He really likes to do a lot of this and, you know, butt heads. And I found that, you know, the best way to deal with that is just to like turn up the kindness. It really helps. And, you know, if it doesn't, it, you know, pisses him off a little bit extra. Because he's like, why don't you get mad at me? So anyways, I immediately, while watching Michael's video, went to Heartstring Sampler's website, downloaded the PDF, and you'll have seen in the picture that I put up, in the pattern, Beth Twist talks about how she designed these 3 samplers to fit in odd-sized frames that she owned. Well, I don't own those odd-sized frames, and this one was supposed to be like quite tall and narrow, and so I was thinking, and some of the words, you know, they ran over to the next line. So I was gonna just stitch it as called for, but then I thought, you know what? I also have an odd-sized frame, and it is, let's see, can we see this? It is an oval, and so what I did is I traced the opening of it onto, this is just like a page protector, traced the opening of it, and I'm using that to kind of gauge, ooh, glare. I have, I'm sitting upstairs, my window is right there, and we got our first snow of the year today. 2 days ago, it was 25 degrees Celsius. Don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but hot for end of October. And 2 days later, we now have snow. I actually took a video from the other side of my camera, of my iPad, of the view that I'm looking at right now. That I inserted at the beginning of this video so that you can see, but yeah, so we do have some, oh, there we go. So yeah, what I've done is I just traced the opening of that frame and I kind of stitched the words, and now I'm going to take some of the motifs from that pattern. This is going to be a very loose interpretation of Beth Twist pattern. But yeah, so that's, yeah, a gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Be kind, my friends, be kind. We could use a little bit more of that always. So yeah, that's all the cross stitch that I worked on in the last 3 weeks. Like I said, that All Hallows Eve took up a ton of time. I was sick, which I just didn't want to do anything. And I picked up knitting again. So, lots of knitting got done, including my finish of my Stappy sweater. Oh, so when here we go. We'll have a look at this. It is so warm. I knit it out of Alfonso Lopi Icelandic wool, which I bought while I was in Iceland in June of this year. And yeah, it is lovely and warm, and I've already worn it. My hopes for this is to be kind of just like an outerwear piece for probably on like a day like today where it's snowing. It's not terribly cold outside, but this, yeah, when I don't just want to be seen in my winter jacket all the time, this is lovely. So yeah, I was saying that when I'll show you the inside with all my floats. When I'm done knitting, I weave in my ends, and then I trim them, but not too much. And then I wash and block it. So by blocking, it's really just, you know, I've washed it, and this I actually put in my I washed it in the sink, put it in the washing machine on the spin cycle to get most of the water out, and it survived. and then I lay it flat to dry. And the reason that I leave these long ends is sometimes, you know, they can work their way when you're blocking, they can kind of like move around a little bit. So I wanted them to have a little bit extra. I can go through and snip them. Will I? Probably not, but I could. So yeah, I'm so happy that this is done. It is delightful. It is warm, cozy. Yeah, yay. Finished object, finished sweater. So now I only have 3 sweaters left from my trip. But am I working on them? No. Instead, I found a long lost sweater. So bad. Ooh, this, you know what? I'll just insert a picture. So I'm working on, it's called the Strathendrick by Kate Davies. And I cast this on, I believe, in January. And I was knitting it like crazy. I love it. And then beginning of February, I broke my hand. And I'm knitting this in color work, and it's 2-color color work. And when I do color work, I knit with both hands. I know some people like carry both yarns in one hand, or they knit with one, drop it, pick up the other one, knit. I knit 2-handed color work. So having this hand in a cast didn't work for me. So it got tucked away and forgotten about, because I'm a horrible human. So I was in my storage area looking for a neck light, because I was wanting to work on some cross stitch in the evening, and the lighting wasn't great, and I saw this, and oh my goodness, what was I thinking? How did I forget about this? So here is where I am. Basically, oops, don't lose any. I'm knitting, it's knit bottom up, and I am right about here. I've just put in the steek stitches. That's what these guys are here. I've just put in the steek stitches for the armholes. So what happened is I knit the body, and it's really oversized. It's quite voluminous. I knit the body, and now I put in the steeks for the armholes so I can continue just knitting in the round. And then I will put in a steek for the neckline so I can continue knitting in the round. And yeah, so it's beautiful, and I want it done. So there's only one problem, and I remember this now from when I was working on it in January. I think I'm allergic to the yarn, which is really unfortunate. Sorry for the crinkle here, just a second. Let me just see if I have a ball here. So this is Kate Davies' actual yarn called, something I can't pronounce, Milwaukee Tweed, possibly. It's gorgeous. It is a single, it's fingering, tweedy. I love the little, specks of color. It is 70% wool and 30% mohair. Now I knit, this is 100% wool, not superwash, just wool. I knit with wool. I've knit with mohair before, no problem whatsoever. But when I knit with it, I get sneezy and I can feel it in my throat. And I can now remember in January feeling the same, but, and thinking to myself, oh my goodness, I bought this as a kit. Oh my goodness, I'm not going to be able to knit this gorgeous yarn into this gorgeous sweater. And then how on earth can I wear a sweater that I'm allergic to? So I was thinking to myself, I'm going to have to give this away to one of my knitting friends. Great for them, not great for me, but I could barely breathe. So, but then I remember that kind of went away. And so I don't know if I built up a tolerance possibly, or like right now, like I said, I'm getting over a cold. So maybe if my immune system is already working overdrive, it's reacting more, but I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to keep at it because it's so beautiful. And, except for I keep on dropping stitches, but no problem. Yeah, so that's the Strathendrick by Kate Davies. And it's beautiful. I'm definitely more in a knitting mood right now. I think what's happened is, it's getting darker earlier, and I don't have the best lighting downstairs by my fire, which is where I want to hang out because it's cozy. And so stitching can get to be a little bit difficult in the evenings. And knitting, I don't, I don't necessarily have to look at what I'm doing. When I'm doing color work like that, I do actually have to, see kind of what's going on. But you don't need to see it like you do with cross stitch where, tiny little stitches and stuff like that. Okay, so the third thing that I've been knitting on, this is again something I started, I don't even know when, and I just found random project bag. I open it up and I'm like, oh, look what I have. Ball of yarn. And I had, when I picked it up, like just kind of the ribbing. There was ribbing on a needle. So I can't remember what size needle it was because after there was a ton of ribbing and I'm like, this must be a hat. What was my plan for it? There's no pattern. I'm just making it up. There's no pattern. I hate knitting 1x1 ribbing. So I'm going to assume that this other set of needles that's in the bag, I had planned on switching to and knitting stockinette for the rest of the hat. So that's what I did. I put on slightly larger gauge needles. I believe this yarn is probably Briggs & Little. Again, it's just 100% wool in a crazy pink. I'm not following a pattern. And I think I'm probably, here, let's do an awesome try on. I have that much left. So I think I'm probably ready to start decreasing sometime soon. Because yeah, if I want like a folded over brim, can we see what's going on here? Oh yeah, I can 100% get to decreases. So I'll figure out, how fast I want to do those. Or I can just keep it like that. I mean, that's really styling with, these little guys. They can tinkle, tinkle, tinkle. Yeah, so I was actually thinking to myself the other day that I really do need to knit. I want to knit a whole bunch of hats to fill up our Woolies drawers for this winter. I realized my youngest is still wearing the toque that I made him. He's 12 now, and he's been wearing the same toque that I made him maybe 5 or 6 years ago. Luckily, it was big when he first had it. I mean, knits are stretchy, right? But it's been through forest school and nature school and, just everyday wearing in the winter, and it's starting to fade. It looks gross. He definitely needs a new one. But I just figured I would at least free up some needles by finishing whatever this hat is. So yeah, that's going to be ready for some decreases. Maybe I'll have another finished object next week, or not next week. I will not be back next week. I doubt that I will be back next week. But my next video, maybe I'll have another finished one and something else casted on. So there's my knitting. Done. 3 projects. I haven't shown knitting in a few videos, so that's awesome. Up next, I have also spent a bunch of time in my sewing room. And I've been working on 2 projects. The first is my 100 Club project for my local fabric store. It's called the Fabric Cupboard. And so I had shown you a whole bunch of these 4 patches last time. And basically what it is, it's a 6-month quilt along, and every month we go into the store to get the next thing of fabric to put onto our quilt. So this month it was cutting these white squares and attaching it. So it's gonna go something like this. And I think I'm about, this month I believe does maybe half of the body of the quilt. So I am probably only about a quarter of the way done this month's stitching, and the month ends tomorrow, and tomorrow I'm leaving on a jet plane. Tomorrow I'm flying to Montreal with my eldest. We are going to see Pink in concert. I'm very excited. He's very excited. It's going to be a fun few days away. So anyways, this will likely not get done this month, but all I need to do is sometime in November bring in my finished October part to pick up November's fabrics. So yeah, I'll have to finish this up beginning of November and move on from there. So there's quilt number 1 I'm working on. Quilt number 2 that I worked on this last few weeks is this one. Kim Deal Simple Sampler. She did it in red. I am doing it in yellows. So I have now finished the middle block, these 4 blocks, and I'm just about done the 4 that go here. I have one of these ones completed. I am doing all of the patchwork first because the applique blocks you stitch using the background fabric, but and then also a whole bunch of triangles of various fabrics, but you use the colors that you've used for the patchwork blocks. And I'm happy. I want to get to the applique. That's what I'm doing this for. But I'm really happy that I rightfully so knew that I would probably mess up, and I didn't want to cut up all of the spare fabric that I have chosen for the patchwork squares to make these blocks without first sewing these and knowing that they're going to be done properly, because I have messed up several times. So yeah, once I get through the rest of the patchwork blocks, I can cut up a million little tiny triangles and start playing with the applique. So let's show you what I have so far. So here's the 1 center block. Fun. And then the 4 next round of blocks are these, and I fussy cut the center squares for all of them to be these fun beverages. So there's 2, and then 3, and 4. There we go. And then that 3rd round of patchworks, I have, like I said, I have 1 that's completely finished, and then the other 3 are very nearly. I'm just working on this very last border around them. So I'm enjoying this. It is fiddly. I cut all of the pieces for the patchwork a month or 2 ago, and I was smart enough to put them into 4 separate baggies. So 1, 2, 3, 4. But I didn't label the pieces in the bags. And some of the mistakes that I made are just absolutely ridiculous. Let's see, is it in this? Yeah, it was in these blocks. This unit, what unit was it? Does it matter? Probably not. But I want to show you. Anyways, I was supposed to be stitching something onto a 3.5 strip, and I was stitching it onto a 2.5 inch strip. So, yeah, I should label them. Should, or at least pay more attention to what I'm doing. But who's got time for that? Okay, so that's all the crafting, I guess, that I have worked on in the past few weeks, which, yeah, I'm pretty happy with what I've got done, considering that I've been sick and, yeah, not into doing my normal. So what else have I been doing? I have been buying some things. A few weeks ago, Etsy had a sale where if you spent $40, I think, they would give you $10 off, and it didn't come out of the store owners' pockets, is what I understood. So I bought some charts and got a deal on Etsy's dime, so that's great, thank you. I bought days 6 and 7 of Liz Matthews' 12 Days of Christmas. I'm working on that all in one piece. 6 and 7 would be swans swimming and geese laying, I think. And yeah, I'll show you that piece probably in my next video. I went through and I was kind of I'm starting to think of plans. I mean, we're only in October. I have 2 more months to get through this year, but I'm like, what am I doing next year? Plans. And I might do a separate plans video. We'll see. but I have a couple of 12 Days of Christmas projects that I would like done sometime this 12 years. I don't even know. Yeah, anyways. So I was thinking maybe on the 12th of every month, I'm going to pull out one of those to work on. But yeah, so anyways, Etsy sale, day 6 and 7 of Liz Matthews' 12 Days of Christmas. I also bought from a store called Nara X Stitch Patterns. It was a set of 4 patterns. They were like seasonal village patterns, which I just thought were cute. With it snowing outside still right now, I was thinking of starting this maybe today, because who doesn't need a new start, and make that my snow day project. Do I need a snow day project? Should I stitch on one of the several wintry projects I already own? I should probably do that. Ooh, I have Hibernation Day by Heartstring Samplery. I will pull that out and stitch on that today. That's what I will do. Okay, but anyways, I got these patterns. I love them all. I'm kind of wondering if maybe I, like, instead of doing it in rows like this, if I take this and put it beside so that you have a longer row of houses, and then I'll do something to make the trees work. Maybe just change what trees are between each house and that. But that's far off. I have no plans to start them. I just thought they were awfully cute. And actually this store had a bunch of patterns that I liked. But do I need more? Yeah. No. The third store that I shopped from during the sale was Owl Forest Embroidery, and I bought a ginormous pattern. It's 461 by 533. It is Ever Flowering Garden. There's a picture for you. It's beautiful. I love the colors. Now, Owl Forest Freds are a joy. I love the variegation. When I buy an overdye, I want to have that variegated color. And their threads I really do enjoy. Now, the question is, do I want to order the floss pack? Probably. Or should I just kit it up with all of the specialty flosses I have in stash? Probably. So we'll see. I have no plans to start it. I just wanted to buy it. Okay. Stitchbug, my local needlework store. I went there a couple of times. Like I said, the fabric that I bought for All Hallows Eve didn't really, I wanted to use it, but it didn't work with the floss that was at my house on the 13th when I wanted to start it. So I went and bought this fabric, which, like I said, I'm loving. I'm loving the Jobelin, love the color modeling of that. So I bought that. I also bought a humongous piece of 32 count Lugana colorway platinum. This is going to be for that Owl Forest chart. And let me just, I bought 32 count, and I don't really know why I need to stitch a chart that's this big on such a large count of fabric. I really should have gone with something like a 40, but I think, oh my God, you can't even. On 32 count, it's going to be 29 by 33.5 inches, which means this chunk of fabric is 35 by 39.5. So yeah, it's a blanket. I think I have some other large projects that I am stitching that are on 40 count, and you know, I wear glasses. I'm getting older, and sometimes I just don't want to stitch on 40 count, especially for something this big. And I thought I could probably get this done more successfully if it was on something like 32. So I went with 32. It is huge. It'll, I would say 99% chance be a soft finish, unless I am a millionaire by the time that I do finish it and I can afford to frame it. good news, my local needlework store now does custom framing. So that's exciting. But when I was in there buying that piece of fabric, they were like, I don't even think the glass comes that big. And I said, don't worry, I probably wouldn't put glass on it if I did get it framed. But like I said, it might be a soft finish. It's gonna be in like 20 years, so who knows? Maybe there'll be some new technology for finishing. And then I also went to a stitch night at Stitchbug. My first time actually going. When I first moved here, I met friends through going to knit night, because knitters are crazy everywhere, and so I knew I would fit in. And through COVID, that all went out the window, knitting in person. And I've been back to the yarn store a couple times since, but anyways, for reasons I just don't feel like knitting in store there. But on the same night of the week, the cross stitch store has a stitch night, so I went there for the first time, and it was great. And so while I was there, because okay, so here's me, totally awkward, weird. I am showing up for the first time. I don't know anyone else in town that cross stitches, so I'm going by myself, and I need to scope out the place, to see if I want to stay. I don't want to show up with my project and be like, I get the no feeling and don't want to stay, but they know that I'm here for that. So anyways, I went in with my project tucked in my bag, and I went shopping instead. And then once I perused the entire store, I was like, okay, I can stay to stitch. So I picked up this pattern by the Blue Flower. It's Forest Home. Our roots are in the depths of the woods, and I just thought that it was super cute. I love the forest. I love nature. And yeah, so I bought this, and while I was there, I also picked up a whole bunch of threads, not for this pattern. They are for Jingle Ball. I signed up for Jingle Ball. I signed up for 3 classes at Jingle Ball. And so I picked up threads for 2 of the projects. I didn't pick them up for the 3rd because we haven't gotten the pattern yet. So yeah, are you going to Jingle Ball? I'm going to Jingle Ball. That's the first weekend in December. I signed up for 3 just PDF classes. I didn't get any of the kits, mostly because I have a stash. And also, shipping internationally is not everyone's favorite. I get it. It's expensive for me and for the people shipping it out. So yeah, I just went with the classes that you could get a PDF, and I will stitch my stuff up and then join them in the Zoom-ish meeting. So what classes am I doing? They're all finishing classes, because I will finish things, and I will fully finish them one of these millennia. So the first one that I'm going to do is Wintergreen Christmas by Misty Purcell. So 3 ornaments. I'll probably get one of them stitched up by the class, and then we're going to learn how to finish them into ornaments. Yeah, so class number 1. Class number 2, Tiny Modernist, the bookmarks. How to make a bookmark finished. So that's excellent. I don't know what one I'm going to stitch up. Maybe I'll stitch up this guy first, because mushrooms. And then the third class is Janine McGowan's Biscornu class. I think she said she's going to be sending the pattern out beginning of November, so I don't have that yet. Yeah, so Jingle Ball, are you going? Will I see you there? All right. Other haul, I bought that 3 Little Proverbs pattern by Heartstring Samplery. And a couple of weeks ago, it was the Nova Scotia Fiber Arts Festival in Amherst, which is a province over from me, but only about an hour from where I live. So I went there. They had a quilt exhibit, which was gorgeous and amazing, and I really wish that I could find some of the patterns that I saw there, but I kind of did some Googling and didn't have much luck. And also I have a ton of quilts and skills that I need to learn. So that's probably okay. But they were beautiful. And then we went to the marketplace and I did some damage. I've gone to this fiber festival several times, usually buying yarn and spinning fiber. This time it was all about the quilts. So I picked up this book, which I thought was really cool. Canadian Heritage Quilting. Yeah, it's got some great patterns in here. And more than anything, it's got stories of history and, you know, the people that made these quilts first in my area. A lot of quilting happened in Atlantic Canada. This says the earliest quilts circa 1800 in the Atlantic provinces were made from homespun wool, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so it's got, yeah, cool little history bits. It's got some patterns. I got this more to read than anything and look at the pretty pictures. I don't have any plans to make anything, ooh, fiber, anything out of it yet, but you know, yet, it'll happen. All right, and then I picked up just some random fabrics. I got 4 Teresa Kogut Christmas prints, probably to make project bags, I want to say. So cute Santas. Got that one green, and I got the Santas in the gold as well. And then I got, probably for the inside of the bags, a green, just like words, Christmassy words, and a red Christmassy words. So those, some random cuts. Here, take these guys off. This is kind of another Christmassy, I was thinking project bags when I grabbed these, but I mean, also quilts, you know. This one I can't really get off very well, but yeah, that's just cute. A cute spring project bag, maybe. Can I get this guy off? Yep. This is more Christmassy. It's got like reindeer. Oh, I'm like, they're upside down, but no, they're right side up right here. Yeah, those are cute. And one more. Come on, open. Little campers. Happy little campers. Look at those guys. So cute. I do not have a camper, but I'm glad these people do because they're delightful. And then I picked up just a charm pack of some Jen Kingwell fabrics because why not? They are fun. I'm working on a Jen Kingwell, 2 Jen Kingwells. I have the pattern for a 3rd. I got a layer cake. I'm going to open this. I'm sorry. Of calf facet. Calf facet? Calf facet? Open, open. Layer cake in the warm colors. I love his stuff. It is bold. Look at that. Like, look at the... I'm just going to rip this thing right apart. Look at the size of that flower. This is a 10-inch square. Like, that's just way too fun. Oh my goodness. This is like a fussy cutter's just delight. Joy. I love the colors. Ah. Yeah, so I picked this up too. And so pretty. Okay. And that's it. Holy cow. Yeah, did some damage. And now onto my plans / dreams. Will it actually happen? Who knows? This first one I am fairly certain will happen if I can find it under all of my stuff. November 1st, Kate from Cross Stitch Kate is starting a birthday stitch and I am joining in. It is to stitch the, I believe it's 1 a month. So there's 9 in the series. The houses on Peppermint Lane. Ooh, there we go. So I bought, I have 6 of them so far that I just got from Stitchbug, and you know, that's plenty to start with. I will either get the last 3 straight from Pansy Patch quilts and stitching as PDFs, or wait till I see them at my needlework store. I'm going to be stitching it on this polka dot because holy smokes, that will be cute. And I am not going to be labeling the houses with the names of houses. I am going to be putting in lyrics from one of my favorite Christmas songs. So I've put where I'm going to be putting each house, and whether or not this, you know, each of the houses have like these little extra doodads with them. Some flowers, berry bowls. The houses will go on there, the lyrics will go on there, and I will place the doodads if there's room. I have not drawn this out except for this. So we'll see how it all fits, you know. We'll just make it work. I'm probably also not going to be doing any of the borders. I'm definitely not going to do them with the houses. Maybe I'll fit them in, you know, somewhere else in the pattern, or choose one, because each of them has kind of like a different set of borders. So maybe I'll choose one that I like and use it through the whole thing. I'm not sure. Haven't thought that far, but I have thought I will be stitching. Starting on, I'm probably not going to start on the 1st. Like I said, I'm flying to Montreal tomorrow. The concert's on the 1st. We fly home on the 2nd. So I probably won't bring this huge chunk of fabric with me to start a project. You know what? I'll probably bring like maybe a bookmark to start, but we'll see. But that is going to get started next month for sure. I have to stitch my Jingle Ball pieces next month. Oh, I have quilting plans because I don't have enough of them on the go. I got this magazine in. I've subscribed, American Patchwork and Quilting. Love this. Love so much this. This is called, I think it's Evergreen, I want to say. Evergreen, yeah. Saw this and loved it, and, you know, just kind of slotted it in the back of my head as I really like that. And then I have watched a lot of Flosstube. I was watching Laurel on I Am a Stitch Nerd. She was flipping through this magazine and came across Evergreen and said, oh, you know, I really love this. I need a green quilt, or I want to make a green quilt or something. And then she said, wouldn't it be cool to do that in like an ombre? Oh. And I love a rainbow. I have this fat quarter bundle, Rainbow Delicious, and I have this fat quarter bundle, which is all black on black. So I would like to make this. These colors are going to pop with this. I'm very excited. When am I going to start that? I don't know. I want to start it yesterday. It is lovely. Yeah. So that's definitely up here. I will say maybe I have 2 quilts that are ready to be quilted. I have my 100 Club, which I'm doing okay with. And I have the patchwork blocks, these guys. I think maybe if I can get all these patchwork blocks done so that I can stitch up some of the blocks for the applique, and then I'll be able to have that applique to kind of play with downstairs in front of the TV. Yes. I mean, if I can get that done. So patchwork blocks, couple of the applique blocks so I can start playing with that. Then maybe I'll start into this. But oh my goodness, I just think that this is going to be fantabulous. Okay, enough of that. So, like I said, I've been watching some Flosstube. Some new couple of new floss tubers. I've mentioned one, Michael, Sweet Woodruff, cross-stitching, quilting, love her. Oh my goodness, her first video's out, and I just like her energy. I wrote in her comments that like I could sit and stitch with her every day. Oh my goodness, she is wonderful. Stitches things I stitch, stitches things I don't stitch, but you know, great. The other one that I just watched, I started yesterday, I finished it today, Erica, Fibers and Floss Canada. Now, if you watch the Hygge Stitcher, which you should be, in August, she did a video with her friend Erica, her stitching buddy, and oh my goodness, I loved seeing the two of them together. So, you know, I'm just cruising for a bruising on YouTube, and I see Erica has a video out. So she does everything. She cross stitches, she knits, she spins, she sews, and yeah, loved it. Can't wait for more. Go check her out. Yeah, just wonderful. I did notice that a few of my regulars, well, Lala D Stitches just posted her cross stitch video. More floof. Oh my goodness. Just no more wearing black for this. Just posted a floss tube a couple of days ago that was delightful and very enabling. I'm hoping that a quilting video is going to come out soon-ish because I love those too. A couple of my other regulars I noticed just put out some new ones. I believe Savory Sewing just had a new one come out that I have to watch. Handmade by Sarah W. Has a new one I have to watch. Yeah, there's so much out there that I should probably end this one, add it to the pile, and then get my button gear to go and watch some of those. What did I say I was going to work on? Oh, Snow Project, Hibernation Day. Sorry, I just looked outside again. Still snowing. I think it's supposed to be gone by tomorrow for trick-or-treating. We'll see. But yeah, so that's all that I have to show you this time. My voice survived-ish, so that's good. And yeah, feel free to leave me some comments. I have a question. That I'm hoping some of my quilty buddies will be able to answer for me in the comment section. So, like I said, this quilt, it's got cotton patchwork, and then it's got wool applique on cotton. Now this is hanging on a wall. I am not necessarily a hang a quilt on a wall person, although I have been looking at some like dedicated wall hangings that might be interesting. But do we use our quilts that have wool applique on them? Are they things that we can throw on a bed, on the couch? Tell me what you do. Do we just keep them delicate hanging on a wall? I am not someone who is afraid of using my things. I'm not someone who is afraid of using up something, or kind of like, I don't want to say destroying, that sounds horrible, but you know what I mean. I'm not worried about things kind of like breaking down in their everyday use of them. I don't need to keep it pristine. So there's that. But yeah, is this the sort of thing that I can expect to be snuggling under? Please tell me. Maybe if you have wool applique quilts that you have been loving on, you know, put them into your floss tube so I can have a look, or post them on your Instagram, something. I would love to see what they look like, what I can expect if I do use it. So anyways, that is really it. My voice is starting to be unhappy with me. And yeah, until next time, enjoy your crafts, and I will see you soon. Bye, everyone.